Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to welcome you here today at the opening of the Pending Futures exhibition at the ArtCatch Gallery. My name is Greg Ivazov, and I will be your virtual host for the duration of this event. Now, I will quickly cover the structure of today's event so our audience members can orient themselves a little better. We will start with introductions as my wonderful colleagues give you a range of perspectives on this exciting exhibition. Then we will move into a video walkthrough of the exhibition and hear more about the artists, without whom, of course, none of this would be possible. In the concluding section of the talk, we will answer both recorded and live questions. So if you have any, please make sure to make a note and you will get a chance to ask at the end. With us here today are Jana Tibin, CEO and founder of ArtCatch, Daria Kravchuk, curator of the exhibition, art manager, and art journalist. Anastasia Glebova, CEO and co-founder of VArt, and the technical partner of the exhibition. And the Anna Schwetz, the CEO and co-founder of TAtchers ART Management, advisor to VArt and PR partner to this exhibition. Having said this, and before I yield the floor to my wonderful colleagues so that they can tell you more about how this exhibition came to be, allow me to briefly weigh in on the introduction. Over the past year, the story of the art market has in some ways been the story of dealing with the pandemic and its impact. With physical venues gone, the sort of socially reliant, if you will, art world was thrown into disarray and many suffered. However, thankfully and somewhat surprisingly, by and large, the art world proved more malleable than many envisaged and adapted, if only for lack of other alternatives. And so at the opening of this momentous exhibition, created with the help of some of the more advanced technologies, it is important to remember that ultimately, the most important thing is that we bring art to people, not how we do it. I think the pandemic has really highlighted this point. Nonetheless, the technology allows for international cooperation and dialogue, even in restricted times. And here ArtCatch and Pending Futures are a perfect example. Having said this, I am now excited to yield the floor to Jana Tibin, CEO and founder, more about this amazing exhibition. So Jana, to get us started, why don't you tell our audience a little bit more about ArtCatch itself and the organization?
Yeah, sure. Gladly, Gregory. Thank you so much for this introduction. And thanks everyone for joining us. I think more people will be joining with time, so we'll not hurry. Yeah, good to start with introduction of ArtCatch. For those who is not familiar yet with the platform, it's a multidisciplinary and multifunctional platform that aims at bringing international and Russian art scenes together, and is primarily a collaborative platform. So ironically, it sounds these days, but there is still a big information gap about what's going on in an art world in Russia, and for many Russian artists and art lovers about the rest of the art world, and especially in terms of young art, because it's less on surface. So our platform is about online exhibitions and collaborative projects in partnerships with technological companies and art institutions. And ArtCatch is for art professionals as well. So it's for international curators and art theory students as well, whom we are happy to assist in networking, logistics, and any kind of information they need. And we also encourage the tradition of conscious collecting, contemporary art collecting, and our cultural hub is meant for collectors and art lovers. And we are planning to showcase private collections and stories behind them at least twice a year. And our next exhibition is dedicated to a very interesting collecting story. So as I said, it's a multifunctional platform.
Yes, and I think that's the theme of current times. The sort of function of galleries changes and broadens beyond merely just being an exhibiting place, but really towards being a multifunctional platform that Jana mentions. And I think here ArtCatch is really in tune with the times, if you like. But back to the exhibition. Jana, do you mind telling our audience a little bit more about the exhibition itself and what it's all about?
Yeah, happily. This project means much to me personally, and it's our first international collaboration in Art Catch Yet short story. We are existing for 2 months, 10 months, sorry. And I'm happy that we work with the youngest generation of artist students and alumni of the leading art institution. And Pending Futures has lots of facets besides its important conceptual idea, which on which Daria, the curator, will elaborate more. Pending Futures is a research on contemporary art education and its response to the changing artistic practices. It also deals with the issue of what digital art is, because we see lots of confusions around this term and would like to present the various tools that digital art is engaged with. Also, digital art has been existing for decades somewhere on the thresholds of design, technology, games, and elsewhere, but not specifically in art. But only for the last few years we've witnessed it's becoming something more. And so another purpose of Pending Futures is to show digital art less from the perspective of technique itself, but to focus more on the fact that it is primarily art that conveys its own philosophy, approaches social issues just on par with other mediums like painting, sculpture, or installation. And the last but not the least, this exhibition is for the artists, and we would like them to see what their peers do. Yesterday on preview, we've heard from the artists saying that when seeing each other's works, they immediately read the codes. They understand the message, and that's great. So please enjoy, and probably it will be a start for some amazing artistic collaborations. We'll see. I hope
Absolutely.
so.
Well, thanks very much, Jana. I'm sure that the more we all hear about the exhibition, the more we sort of want to get our hands on it and visit it ourselves. And with this note of positive impatience, I will ask Daria Kravchuk, whose curatorial know-how has been indispensable to the show, to tell us a little bit more about the conception behind this exhibition. So, Daria, if you like, the floor is yours.
Yeah, with pleasure. So first of all, I would like to thank all the parties involved, artists, representatives of art institutions, my colleagues from both ArtCatch and VArt for making this project happen. It was an adventure which took a while to arrange, but we made it. So a little story prior to the actual concept. I was based in Amsterdam for 4 years, working in art sphere. And since then, it was very important for me to maintain the cultural bridge between the two countries. I've previously arranged a group show of 10 Dutch artists in Moscow in Triumph Gallery and Russian artists in a few locations in Amsterdam in the framework of one of Amsterdam Art Weekends back in 2018. So this time I wanted to work on a collaboration with a younger generation of artists in order to showcase their unique worldview and also their reaction to the new normal. So elaborating on the idea of the group show, Pending Futures, we are currently living in the extreme present, and it feels like historical and social urgencies demand immediate reactions. This group show showcases the works by contemporary artists from the Netherlands and Russia, and it is an empathic attempt to reflect on the general post-COVID reality and also on the tendency of slowing down and the theme of the so-called digital mantra, when online space becomes an agora, displaying both complexity and fragility of human conditions. Pandemic obviously has brought the world to a standstill, disrupting normalcy, putting us in some kind of suspended state. We've suddenly realized that the systems which we have created are far from being perfect. We were stuck in self-isolation, we have shifted into slow down pace, and many of us acknowledged how blurred the lines between the online and offline are. This project is just an attempt to look at how ephemeral digital space can be transferred into a more balanced environment with the help of art-related practices. Even the architecture of the space where we are exhibiting our show talks for itself. It's the classic white cube, but deconstructed and rethought. So this show presents works by 20 contemporary artists who are engaged in various media: video, sounds, 3D sculptures, digital collage, AI, CGI, motion graphics, 3D animation, creative coding. So you can see quite some media out there. Their works are going to research the existence of specific concepts, currents, and modalities, which can help the digital space to become safe space, and also to transform it from the almost annoying necessity, which we have all faced, into the harmonious context for presenting the very core concepts in artistic discourse, new forms of self-representation, freedom, and autonomy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daria. How very eloquent of you. And what important points too. Sort of the idea that digital effortlessly helps art fulfill one of its key functions, bringing people together, right? And that's the theme of international cooperation that this exhibition highlights too. But also the unifying experience of COVID, because no matter where you were in the world, unfortunately, that is something that we all experienced. So really, this exhibition is very pertinent indeed. And thank you very much, Daria, for making it happen. Generally, curators are always somewhat of a gray cardinal insofar as they are kind of silent masterminds behind the experience of an exhibition, which I, for one, am very excited to jump on in. Now, on top of everything else, this exhibition is in the technological avant-garde, as Daria has mentioned. So I'm glad to yield the floor to the leader of the platform who had made this aspect of the exhibition and more happen, Anastasia Glebova, CEO and co-founder of VArt. The floor is yours if you will take it.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm really glad that we had a pleasure to host this wonderful exhibition with international artists from both Netherlands and the Russian Federation on the VArt platform. And I'm looking forward to all of today's audience to actually open the exhibition and enjoy it in both web version and mobile application. And I hope that you will have a great time of encountering this wonderful masterpieces of art.
And thanks a lot, Anastasia, and thanks a lot, everybody. It is after getting to hear from all of you that one realizes just how much expertise and labor has been dedicated to this show. With a team like this behind it, I am sure that Pending Futures will never cease to amaze all of us. Now, why don't we skip to the exciting bit and go for some visuals and enjoy the video walkthrough of the exhibition and have the pleasure of listening to Daria's live commentary. So Daria, as the video is being prepared, the floor is once again yours.
Yes, I will interrupt. I will share my screen to assist Daria.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I will start the video of the exhibition. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really well.
Starting.
So we are starting with the work by Alexander Kutavoy, who is Moscow-based artist working with sculpture. The core of his practice is reconsidering the norms, starting from the educational traditions of a monumental sculpture, ending with questioning the rules of the modern society and Soviet past which formed it. This specific project, which is called the Institute of Studying the Behavior of Technical Devices, is created by an imaginary person who has founded the institute. The methods of the research are elaborated by analogy with the educational structure of the Classical Academy of Arts. Students observe the behavior of the technical devices through the YouTube video and analyze it by making sketches and clay statues. Yeah, let's proceed. So here is the work by Sasha Puchkova. This artist pays attention to the phenomena that arise at the intersection of online and offline processes, cognitive distortions, and social norms. She finds it important to focus on historical paradoxes and blind spots, as well as the practice of solidarity. This project, which is called What If There Is Only Skin and Nothing Else, is a part of the artistic exploration of the digital skin. Today, digital tools have changed the relationship between our physical and virtual reality in all areas of our lives. The images which surround us are autonomous byproducts and a testament to our role as communicative actors in today's digital society. Yeah, so here we switch to Chris Core from KBK Institute. So Chris Core is a digital dreamer and multidisciplinary artist, also speculative designer. She's interested in the intersectional relation between technology, art, and science in the exploration of an ever-changing mediated reality and its influence on human perception. Her works touch the philosophical and the psychological sides of our technological nature and question the expanding development of AI, mixed realities, and our digital traces. This very project called Amnesia focuses on the concept of human hybrid memory, which can be augmented, influenced, and modified by AI. Echoes of this seemingly fantastic and futuristic concept can already be found in the way in which social media algorithms learn our online behavior, process data, and recommend relevant content. Here, we are beginning to explore a new technological aspect of our nature by using machine learning algorithms to overcome the boundaries of our understanding of what human consciousness is. So now we are next to the work by Nastya Galeva, who is a Moscow-based artist, sound artist, and designer, who works primarily with field recordings and also electronic sound. She mostly experiments with noises and sound collages to create an artistic statement and conducts research mostly dedicated to the interconnection between the space and one's physicality and perception. This sound piece called Articulatio is sound art, which actually can never be heard. The title refers to the Latin word, which means joint. So the track was created using sounds of moving joints and bones in a human body. So this is why I previously mentioned that in the reality, it can't be heard, but here we have a unique opportunity. So this sound piece is very rhythmic and meditative. The composition reveals the world that has always been hidden, and the sounds of joints become the touch point between the physical and the mental worlds. Yeah. So now we are next to the work by Sasha Valls. Her interests are focused on working with objects in abandoned spaces, both in reality and in the digital environment, creating art here and now, as well as exercises in art. In the project Corpus Pulveris, Sasha has turned herself into a breathing sculpture during her self-imposed isolation, wrapping herself in sheets, blankets, and curtains, and depriving herself of freedom of breath and movement. She has likened herself to the distorted figures from Francis Bacon's paintings. Each of the performances which she was making was lasting around 15-30 minutes, and it became a good illustration of quarantine, slowing the flow of time and self-exclusion from the public space. Later on, these performances were translated into the digital objects, and they were gathered in the dark digital exhibition hall. So now we are next to the work by Luca Haidt, who is an artist and performer based in Amsterdam. His work revolves around the intersection of the public and private, personal vulnerabilities, and the ways they can manifest publicly are at the core of his practice. Those vulnerabilities can take shape in very concrete ways, such as depression and the struggle to function during it. The work, How Do You Talk About Depression, explores different ways we approach conversations about it and how the experience can feel for those concerned. Through 4 perspectives, the video dives into diverse vocabularies about depression: political, geographical, corporate, personal, and the bodily one. So now we are next to the digital sculpture by Zina Pusap, who is an artist based in the Netherlands. She's specifically interested in digital media, and in the mixed media installations, she brings together the digital and physical in order to challenge notions of fakeness and representation in the post-internet age. And by exploring social media tactics and contemporary image culture, Zina's works reveal a universe of glitter, glamour, plastic, fakeness, where tales of fraud, the rich and the famous, spiritual moguls and actors all come together. And this allows her to present and investigate the nature of staged events which are perceived as real. Yeah. So Arto RTA, or Art of Unhustled, through various practices and projects ranging from paintings to a fictional institute that produces online contacts, Arto's works aims at revealing the truth about the nature of desire. Through meditative CGI videos, dreamy cinematic films, formless drawings, and dense, colorful paintings, he explores the excesses of libidinal drive and the formal codes of sexualized images. This work, which is called Institute for Experimental Distress, explores our relationship with alluring online images. The Institute borrows the extended and repetitive format specific to meditative videos, which abound on internet platforms such as, for example, YouTube. Through images and sound, your computer is turned into a healing station while looking at this artwork, which diagnoses the mental capture of your desire by big data's entertainment apparatus. Treating this as a cure, it helps you to cure it through speculative and almost cathartic methods. So here we have a few works by Anna Tagantseva-Kobzeva, who is a multimedia artist originally from St. Petersburg. Her visual language combines elements of hieroglyphic and runic writing, reflecting her interest in the occult and its interaction with modern science and philosophy. Anna works both with traditional media, painting and sculpture, and digital media, video art and AI. So here we see a few digital sculptures. One of them, the butterfly, this image appears in Anna's works as a symbol of gaze inaccessible to humans. However, this view has now become mechanical, not biological. This positioning is occupied by drones, which are also used for example, military purposes. The butterfly as a little creature is always used as a symbol of rebirth, and the artist here proposes to perceive this rebirth as the emergence of a mechanical, object-based view, and as a result of a shift in the position of anthropocentrism. And also next to the digital sculptures, we see a few digital collages, and in her digital graphic works, Anna works with mystical symbols which are transformed into abstract forms, shaping a writing which is practically scratched on the screen. The layering of the image itself, like opening of more and more new tablets, new tabs on the computer, makes it impossible to read linearly.
September 6, 2020.
Yeah, the artwork just started and then stops for a sec. So this work by Emma Lou Burkel and Simon Pilaud from Gerrit Rietveld Academy. Emma's work is focused on the interpretation of clothing as a sculptural aspect, using common themes and common notions and decomposing them in order to propose a new viewpoint. Her works challenge the idea of clothes by creating garments that are not meant to be worn. Rather, they become objects, decors, actors, and sometimes even storytellers. In this work called Dry Your Eyes and Compute Her, this work connects us with via the digital tools that stimulate our human sensitivity in the form of mathematical representations. And this work depicts a fictional murder story synthesized into images. These images are very fluid and they are extremely loaded collages of investigation evidence, animated by satisfying mathematically calculated movements. And the viewer himself is invited to investigate the content and speculate on the story it contains. Filth House is a collective of 6 trans entity members who channel through their founder, Andra. Each entity guides Andra to produce work which ephemerally embodies one or less frequently multiple entities. This work, called Sila as Easy, is a single channel video work comprising stock footage collected by a neural network artificial intelligence, Sila, as she attempts to understand what it means for her to be both a girl and a human. Sila, through her curation of this footage, actively attempts to grasp at the archetypes of girlhood produced by mass media, and in this juxtaposes global economics with interpersonal symbols of love and intimacy. So here we have another sound art by Sonia Afanasieva, a Moscow-based artist who studied contemporary art at the HEC School of Design. And here, actually, I would like to read a quote by the artist, because she describes her project Selective Miracles in the following way. Recently, I met a man who lives in his own world of rituals. Watching him, I noticed that within his life, there are various repetitions of certain actions: closing the zipper of his purse 3 times in a certain sequence, pushing the light switch 5 times, or turning the doorknob 9 times towards the window before closing it. It reminded me of rhythm, actions in his imaginary world that could become sounds and even composition. I want to immerse the listener in this strict ritualistic world, which fascinates me. So the artwork by Louise Braddock Clark, Iterations of Teleology. Here the artist moves between researcher and creative practitioner, interpreting notions from domains of design, geography, electromatter, esoteric philosophies. Via this holistic approach, an experimental inquiry unfolds, blending both scientific and conceptual theories that materialize in contemporary mediums. By producing the so-called geotools, Braddock Clark measures and records ancient, current, and future surfaces of the ever-shifting Earth. The video work, Iterations of Teleology, takes on the passage of a phase transition. This is defined by a change in a feature that characterizes a system. The central object, an early 20th century vase, exposes its fragile nature by being caught between 2 stages of being in a constant flux. Through a machine turbulence, the vase over-orchestrates its own maneuvers, flying before our eyes in a set of unrecognizable positions. The split screen film enlarges the narratives of balance, adaptation, motorized life, simulation, and perpetual behaviors. Yeah. So this is the project by the team from Art and Science Master Program in Itmo University. So let me tell you a few words about the researchers, the artists. Evgeny Chlopotov, multimedia artist and curator. He explores the themes of biofuturism and existential shifts. Siraj Fahan is a software engineer who has experience developing applications for various platforms. Galina Alfyorova is an art and science artist and clinical psychologist. She works in interdisciplinary field in search of hidden interconnections. Maria Moshchenskaya is a transdisciplinary artist who explores the themes of interspecies communication, nonverbal dialogue, and interactions with plants. And Veronika Prizova is an artist and culturologist who explores natural cultural discourse. So here the team investigates issues of phytosemiotics and interspecies communication, including laboratory research of the hypothesis of the presence of an analog of vision in some species of higher plants. The team has created a digital avatar of the so-called dead mimosa, Mimosa pudica, the flower, yellow flower, which is an intermediary between a person and a plant as a subject. And thanks to its anthropomorphic form, it is designed to facilitate immersion in the process and activates the unconscious relations of the player. So Deadmimos will assess whether you're ready to live in a new world, an era of interaction between trees, flowers, and people as equal and mutually beneficial agents who are expanding each other's skills and perception. Yeah, the project by Daria Purvina and Milena Bashkatova, also from ITMO. So the main areas of interest of this team lie in interdisciplinary research. The team carries out work in the field of media art and art and science. Their focus lies on the speculative issues of posthumanism, human emotions, and visual aesthetics. The artwork Gossip Flowers, presented here, is an artistic and both ironic representation of the anthropocentrism cutting through our culture. By creating the illusion of creatures with human-like features, they wanted to draw attention to that misunderstanding. Because if humanization of other species continues to be the only way to make people think, not only for themselves, a post-human future seems impossible. By using a neural network trained to read lips, they analyzed numerous videos of blossoming flowers in order to understand what the plants are talking about, thinking that we cannot hear them. Yeah, so here we have quite a big project by Walking Club Rietveld from Gerrit Rietveld Academy. It is a temporary group initiative with the students Juliette Braderod, Jelle Hogendorp, and Eva van der Zandt under the supervision of Nikos Doulas. And their collaboration stemmed from the workshop on walking practices and their embodied resonance and the sensorial prospects of a walking stick. So let me tell you a bit more about the practice of each of the artists. So Juliette Braderod investigates the narratives of visible and invisible worlds, taking as a starting point possible ways in which we can relate to each other, both human and non-human, through sensorial experiences. The practice of Jelle Hogendorp revolves around the direct, sensitive experiences of memories, fears, and desires. Eva van der Zand is a breath and voice artist. And in her practice, she researches how breath is a hidden sense that bundles all the other senses together. Importantly, she uses her breath to shape glass. And Nikos Doulos, who led this research, is a visual artist, curator, and educator. His interests lie in ambulatory practices framed around notions of embodiment, memory, and storytelling. So a bit more about this project: fluid walkscapes, corporeal imaginaries. It stands as an invitation for a narrated sensorial walking experience and a world of imaginary realities of physical objects and corporeal mappings. It consists of a few parts: a sound walk, a constellation of sculptural objects, and a complementary publications. So here the question in general, like, what does walking as an aesthetic practice mean? This project sets out to touch, unpack, and immerse itself in the multiple realities that walking offers, informed by an investigation on the function and imaginary potentials of a walking stick. It examines our embodiment in the city and the city within us. In the current pandemic conditions, walking is often perceived as a response to our oversaturated virtual existence. So here is the representation of the work by Pavel Seldimirov. The scope of Pavel's interest includes determinism and predestination in the act, ethics as a science of relations between objects, and aesthetics as an access to practical logics of sensation and affection, as well as theories of formation. And in his art practice, Pavel designs experiences and impressions. And why I said in the first place that it is the experience of the project, because it was firstly presented in Audi space. This project, The Becoming, was created with the support of Cosmosco Foundation and Audi. And in the physical space, it looked like the installation with the real plants, VR sets, and controllers. And the viewers could actually enter the space of the video game. Here, you will be able to download it. So it is a very personal project, and it teaches you that everything can be read as a relationship between different objects. The project was based on the concept of the development of compositions and decompositions, as well as Spinoza's ethics. On the other hand, the image of the forest in culture is something that opposes order and the known, and it's a perfect metaphor for the environment we are in. So now we are next to the work by Anastasia Dunaeva, who is a digital artist based in Moscow. Anastasia conducted a large-scale study of the direction of anti-style and avant-garde trash graffiti. She deconstructs the codes and meanings of classical graffiti in the public understanding, moving away from the cliches of the traditional language of street art that we see on the streets of the cities every single day. Street art in itself is very ephemeral. Everything threatens it. You know, the building can fall apart, although the policeman can make you like take it away. Anyways, in addition, a building with street art can simply be demolished and leaving a wasteland in its place. And here in the project called Mural of the Well, we can see the 3D wall model, which is the available way to overcome this ephemerality. The artwork and the building remain on the internet for years to come, and every bit of the spray paint and every brick of the wall can be seen by simply bringing the volume closer to a digital building. So here is the work by Artyom Grigorov, who is an artist and molecular biologist. And he's currently actually working on his PhD thesis at the Institute of Bioorganic Chemistry in Moscow. But as an artist, he works with real-time computer graphics in the audiovisual project, creating abstract generative 3D objects. This work, Interactions, is a short sketch about the interaction of three objects of different nature that was created using Houdini software. The piece explores the modern possibilities of abstract composition, continuing the work of artists of the past, but in the digital domain. The focus is on the interaction of idealized objects with different textures, colors, shapes, and other physical properties. Here, the relationship between different elements develops into a micro-narrative. Each frame of the sequence could be viewed as a separate painting. At the same time, the importance of physical laws that stimulate the real world is emphasized. Yeah, tiny preview of the work by Nadezhda Bey from ISMO. Nadezhda is a contemporary media artist who uses VR as her primary medium. She strives to be experimental in her approach and combines modern technologies and techniques of traditional painting, performance art, and video art. This work, Isolated Space, was created during the period of self-isolation. At this time, like many of us, she was at home, and this made her completely rethink her living space, find a new place in it for herself, and generally get to know herself again by writing down the feelings which aroused due to the impossibility of live communication and also anxiety about the future. So this virtual scene is actually the artist's house.
Shall we recap quickly for 2 minutes the whole exhibition? Just quickly, shall we just show the exhibition quickly?
Why don't we? Yes.
Yeah. So we'll end up with. So I will just comment on that when you will be browsing the exhibition, once you approach the work, it will start automatically. Like this sound work, we hear the sounds of Nastya Galeva work.
And of course, it's important to say that just like any other exhibition, the exhibition is made to be experienced yourself. So we really encourage you to go ahead and then try it out for yourself, because however great the video is, it doesn't reflect the true experience of it.
Absolutely, yeah, true. And each work, there are many video works, so dive into them. And this is just a short, brief.
September 6, 2020.
Yeah. You see it. You see they automatically start. So it's just to give you a notion of how it looks. Just general understanding.
Yeah, and please keep in mind that every artwork is also available in the augmented reality mode, so you can try it out on your wall, on your floor, on your office, at home, or wherever you are, even outside, and experience the artwork just like it was in front of you.
And while we watch the exhibition, I'd like to thank Daria for her commentary. It was really very eloquent and in depth, and I'm sure it really helped our audience understand what they're in for and what quality of work and thought has been put into this exhibition. I'm sure I speak for everyone else when I say that this all just looks great. The quality, the dynamism, it's all really truly amazing. So it's I have to commend you for your marvelous job of sort of organizing, there we go, all of this creativity that's so diverse into a digestible structure. That's really where a curator shines. in their practice. And so I like to say that curators are in many ways also artists, because putting it all together is also a form of art, really. So now I know that we have gotten plenty of pre-submitted questions. So why don't we move into actually, before we do, I'm getting forgetful these days. I want to remind our audience that there will still be a window for live questions. So if you have any, please make sure to comment them on Facebook, and we will make sure to pose them to our wonderful speakers. And so with this in mind, Anna, why don't you take over with the pre-submitted questions for the rest of the panelists?
Yeah, hi everybody. Congratulations with the opening. It's an amazing show, and the artworks, they are so impressive, and the space. Jana, congratulations. Colleagues, congratulations. And we have a question from Veronica to Daria. How does your curatorial practice change from a physical to an online exhibition?
Well, actually, it was the first time I was making an exhibition online in this kind of space, because I had like at some point I was making some digital exhibitions before, but they were in another format, so it was never in the real 3D dimensional space. It was extremely interesting journey, I must say, and of course, like it's so different from the physical, you know, all the problems we face during the digital one and the physical one are just not very compatible to each other, I would say.
Yeah, great. And we have questions from several bloggers, and all they were asking about the technical part of the show. It is true that it will be available on application, and will it work for iPhone and Android? And it will be really interesting to learn more about technical part, how to explore this show.
Yes, I might take over it if it's okay. So first of all, I strongly encourage all of our audience to try both variants. So to visit the exhibition both as a web format from your laptop, or maybe even from your tablet or whatever you have, and of course to try it out as a mobile version, because even technically that's a huge difference between the experience you get, and even out of the curatorial experience, it's also a completely different way. So please make sure to try them both. DotArt application is available for free, both for App Store and Google Play Market. So you will also find the link in the comments of the on-air event which we have now, and of course it will be available everywhere on DotArt pages, on ArtCatch page, so please make sure to try them both. And the main difference between them is of course the augmented reality part, so that's available solely on the mobile application, but on the web version you are getting more chances to read the whole information and wonderful curatorial text which was brought to you by Daria and Jana. And of course, to find out more about the biographies and background of the artist and background of each artwork which was selected to participate in the pending future exhibitions.
Yeah, great. And for those who are watching us, it's already on my phone, for example, and you can also download the application and find this exhibition, and you can enter the gallery, and you can move with your body and explore this space as you were there in reality, and you can, yeah, as Anastasia said, find all the information about all art projects there, and not only from your phone, but also from your tablet, and the web version is also fantastic. Yeah, and the next question we have to Jana. Pending Futures, the big exhibition, how did you get to the final list of names and artworks? I think it's both to Jana and Daria.
Daria, will you make a start? Because yeah, Daria made a huge work with communicating with the art institutions and artists. So I think that it will be fair you start.
Well, it was just, I mean, I don't know how to comment on it, because it was just a huge body of work, and then lots of beautiful conversations after it. But I mean, I guess it's rather clear which kind of topics we were going for. and it's all really well reflected in the descriptions of the work. So just, talking with artists, with students, with alumni, and just figuring out which projects were a fit.
Yeah, it's been as a research, more research, but I would say it was challenging because of the distance, of course, and because so many institutions involved, and sometimes it's just hard to reach people out. It's hard to reach out the portfolios, so it's been enormous work, actually. Yeah, indeed.
If I may, just to build upon this question a little bit, Jana or Daria, could you tell us a little bit more about how art academies were involved in this project and sort of what their participation was?
Mm-hmm. Shall I start? Shall I start? Yeah. I would say that some of their art academies were involved more, some less, but all of them assisted in contacting the artists, and some were very helpful in getting and giving access to the portfolios, of course, with artist permission. And many of art institutions helped us a lot in promoting and giving a shout among the university, the students, about the exhibition. So we are very grateful to many of them for this assistance that spread the rumor about the exhibition. And we have also within our public program, which I will tell about later on, because it really deserves a separate word. We will also have a few art institutions that will be participating in public talk next week. So all in all, there was much involvement from the art institutions. We are very grateful for it.
That's great to hear. A team effort is always something great to witness. Anna, do we have any more questions?
We have a question to artists, and maybe Daria can speak from their behalf, because a lot of artists are writing to us asking how to participate in these activities on ArtCatch platform when you're a student, and how to be noticed by art professionals, as you did with these students, the guys that are really young. So young students, young artists are very interested to understand how to enter the show like this.
Well, I mean, also I think it's partly the question of the future programming of ArtCatch, and I'm not sure yet what is to come there, but obviously something is happening, something is coming. And in terms of how to get in the show, I guess it's just it's unfortunately it's rather subjective choice by the curator. Sorry, but it is. And just based on the research, based on the needs of the project. So that's how it goes, right? It's a rather classical approach, because sometimes obviously there are open calls, and I personally do prefer the more like open practice of combining the open calls and also more precise invitations. But it just depends on the matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so the question goes to Jana. Jana,
yeah.
how to be in your spot, how to gain your attention?
I have an answer. They can always send us portfolios, which I regularly receive from the artists via Instagram, their Facebook, and on our mails. So I try to answer everyone, and I just encourage artists to keep on contacting us, and if not now, maybe not next month, not this year probably, but there is always a chance we can, because we have a pipeline of projects, and but who knows? Yeah, it's always good to keep in touch.
Yeah,
we are open.
Absolutely. Well, I have another question perhaps to Jana. Can I ask, why are the artists from this project specifically for the Netherlands and Russia and not, let's say, a broader geography? Why between these two countries?
Well, first of all, and maybe for practical reasons, we are based in Utrecht in the Netherlands. And Daria is, she's living between the Netherlands and Russia. But I would also say I think that this kind of projects, they need some focus. So we didn't want to really spread our attention and to the artists and to the institutions among a few geographical locations. So we already I've been thinking of volume 2, pending Futures volume 2. I think that it could be a start of a good long-term project. Why not? We'll see.
Just a good name, right?
Yeah. And thank you. But I would be happy to go on with that. And why not? But I think that it's really because, as I mentioned at the start of the opening, is that we wanted to. It's also it's a research project, and it touches different sides of education, of just networking, and conceptually. So I think that we will stick to this precise, specific geography. So keeping this time, it's first time, it's Netherlands, and who knows what will be next. We'll see.
Thank you very much for this. Unless there are any other questions, then we will come to concluding remarks. And concluding remarks, of course, involve a lot of thanks. So firstly, thanks to all of the panelists here today, and Daria and Jana in particular for organizing this amazing exhibition, and Anastasia for also helping to make it happen. I thank the audience for watching us live, those of you who stuck with us till the very end. And of course, I thank the rest of our audience in advance for those who will watch this in a recording format. The work presented here today was mind-bogglingly excellent. And so once again, thanks everybody for making this happen. Being a part of an art industry, we're all in one way or another involved with creative processes. And I think that we can all safely call ourselves artists from time to time. And so with this, I'd like to also give my thanks to sort of the artists who without whom this exhibition would have been impossible. And of course, all that's left for me to say is that I encourage everybody to go and check this exhibition out, which will be available on all platforms mentioned soon, if not now already. And it was a pleasure being with you. I yield the floor to Jana or Anastasia or anyone else who would like to make some concluding and final remarks. Thank you.
Anastasia, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I have a final remark from me. So as I have already mentioned, we are really glad that we had the chance to host the exhibition on the DotArt platform. And I hope that that's not the last project which we do together. And I want to thank to Jana and Daria for doing this amazing work and of gathering together this group of artists. And it was a big work both from the ArtCage side and from the DotArt, and I hope that this exhibition will be a huge success and will also be a breakthrough for the CADAF panel section. Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. I would like to thank our partners but first of all, I would like to thank our curator and the artists for being involved passionately into this project. I think that we've done a very beautiful work. I'm very happy with the results. And I want to thank, of course, our technological partner, DotArt, and for this highly professional work. And personally, our special thanks to Anastasia and Victoria Timoshenko, who was with us all this time and tried to fulfill all our wishes. Sometimes probably it was too much, but everything was done and with the real outstanding quality. I really appreciate your involvement. I would also like to thank TAtchers ART Management, our PR, international PR angels, Anna Schwitz and her amazing team. Thank you so much. And thank you for making so many people know about this event. Anastasia mentioned CADAF. Indeed, we also consider them as our partners, CADAF Online. It's a virtual crypto and digital art fair that will be taking place between 17 and 23rd of June. So it's starting this week, already on Thursday. And I'm proud that a few talks of our public program, on which I will give more details just in a few seconds. It will be included into their cultural programming. And so please follow our posts. And of course, our special thanks to Wilhelmina Jansen Fonds and the Embassy of the Netherlands for their amazing input and support, and without them this project would probably not happen, or at least at this moment. So we are grateful for their taking up this idea and believing in it. It's fantastic. And I would like to thank ArtCatch team, Romana Ganisyan. I would like to thank Anastasia Dunaeva and Natalia Shipakin. I hope they're watching. And for their creativity and energy and passion and love for what they are doing, because it's always resulted in the project like that. And a little bit like just final words, I try to be brief, but it's very important. I want to draw your attention to our public program. We have, I mentioned already, 2 talks will be included in the framework of CADAF. It's a recorded meetings on, first of all, one on the value and of digital art and how to appraise it. We have very good speakers there, the collectors, the art curators and from digital world. Anastasia was also there participating and giving very precious ideas and experience, and also our colleagues from art domain. So please, I really encourage everyone to watch it, especially artists, because it's a very specific topic. We try to be very precise and give as much valuable information as possible. Another talk is about digital art as public art. Here is we elaborate on how on the borders of digital, that it doesn't limit itself to the internet and digital world. So we discuss the projects that are gone into public, and like AR projects, and we had a very good conversation with the director of Today's Art from the Netherlands about their big events everywhere in the world. So please have a look at that. And the last but not the least, next week, 24th of June, we already created the event on Facebook. Art education and digital art approaches and practices. Will be having representatives from Dutch and Russian art schools, and we'll talk about how media art practices are included into their daily curriculum, education curriculum. We want to create kind of a platform for experience exchange. So I think that it will be useful both for the art institutions and also students and those young artists who are considering to get onto the education in art. And in July, we are issuing the series of conversations with the artists participating. We would like to give them word also, and to talk about their works and their creative life. So this will be, but there will be a separate announcement about that. And I would like to wish all the artists, students, the good luck and success with their graduation shows. I know now many are busy with mantling, both in Holland and in Russia. So success, and I hope that we will be happy not only with our show, but also with their graduation shows. Thank you everyone for watching us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a tradition. Gregory, do you know about it?
No, I don't think I do yet. Oh, haha, we're
Yeah.
gonna cut the ribbons. Wonderful.
Yes, it's already the second time we do this in Art Catch. We would like to open our exhibition. No, with just cutting the, mine is pink, no, but red ribbon. Okay, we'll call it red ribbon.
Yeah.
So I
I
suggest.
join in virtually.
Okay, we just announce our exhibition open.
Yay.
Great, done.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
great. So what are we gonna?
It was so easy, right?
Yeah, that was the easiest part. Yeah, but we'll keep the backstage for some time later. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna post the links to the exhibition. I want to just make a quick note that it will be available. The verb version will be available on ArtCatch website a little bit later this week or beginning of the next week. We will make a separate post in social media about it. And now we will post in the chat. Can we do that, Anna? Can we post in our groups the links to the exhibition?
Yeah, now we are posting in comments to this Facebook stream all the necessary information, links to the application, link to web version, link to ArtCatch website, and all the information about our partners will be published here too.
Yeah, very good. So please enjoy the exhibition, and we would like to hear your comments. Please do write your comments in Facebook. We'll be really looking forward to it.
All right. See you all
Thank you.
out there.
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.